Later, the church leadership presented it to
It's very, very cold, huh? Okay, so today we'll look at lookups. Lookup functions. Let me do this. Lookup function is one of the most powerful functions, yet underutilized. A number of Excel users don't even know that it exists. It is able to do what probably VLOOKUP wouldn't even do. So you can use lookup as an alternative to VLOOKUP. It's a very easy function. So go to B3, just delete what is in B3. Yeah, you're welcome, iPhone, you're welcome. So go to B3. This function lookup, it actually uses vectors. So type equals lookup tab equals lookup tab, Control A, and press OK. Okay. So in this case, we have the tax codes and the rates, associated rates, the tax code. So what we want to do is to use the lookup function. Alternatively, we could still use the VLOOKUP, but since we are looking at lookup functions, we can use the lookup function to fish out the rates. So it has 3 syntax arguments: the lookup value, which is obviously the unique identifier, and in this case, it is actually going to be the tax code, the lookup vector, and the result vector. If you have observed with this function, the syntax arguments, really, there are only 2 that are in bold. The last one is not in bold. It means that it is not mandatory, but you need to know why you should not use it or why you should actually use it. So let's first use method 1. So the lookup value is actually going to be the tax code, which is A3. That would be the lookup value. Tab. The lookup vector, since we are looking at method 1, the lookup vector will actually pick from F3 to F7. Then we'll go to the result vector. So the question is, which result vector do you want? The result vector, ideally, it is actually a range that gives you the output that you want. So in this case, we want the tax rates. So we'll tab and go to result vector and do this. I guess we are all there. This is method 1. I'll show you method 2. So press OK. So that is method 1. But if you don't want to go through this hassle, it's slower, we can go to method 2, which is much easier. Method 2 will only look at the lookup value and the array. It will ignore the result vector, but you still get the same. So go to B5. In B5, type equals lookup, Control A, press OK. So you have something like this. So you start with your lookup value, which will be basically the tax code. In this case, it is actually in A3. Victor, you're in mute in case you're trying to say something, because I've seen it showing green. I suspect there's something you're trying to say. Then the lookup vector, you pick the whole range like this. So what this function assumes, if you don't look at the result vector down, it assumes that the last column of the lookup vector, that is where you want to get the output. So it will assume that the last column of the lookup vector, which in this case is column H, that is where the solutions or the output is going to come from. So meaning that you ignore the result vector. I'll still give you another basic example on this. So you then now press OK. And convert this to percentage. The first method we looked at here, we picked the lookup value, which is obviously A3. Then the lookup vector, we picked where you have the tax codes. Then the result vector, it is this column where we have the rates. And that is what we want. That was method 1. Method 2, we only looked at 2 syntax arguments. We looked at 1, the lookup value, which obviously is in A3, the tax code. Then we looked at the vector, the lookup vector, where we just picked the whole data range, knowing too well that this function, once you pick the whole data range, it will assume that the last column of that data range, that is what you want to fish out. Let's just come up with a very basic example here. And Mrs. Lower, this function is going to be handy for you because I know the type of data that obviously you normally do. I guess that because of that data set that you have rich data set, using this function is actually going to be easy for you to manipulate data in whichever way you want. So let me give this example. Let's say you have towns. Just type in G33, Lusaka, Solwezi, Mansa, Kasama, Mongo, Livingston, Kawe. So we have towns. Then let's say we have number of employees per town. In Lusaka, let's say you have 1,000. Solwezi, you have 750. Mansa, 1,200. Kasama, 500. Mongo, 230. Livingston, let's say 120. Kawe, let's say 960. Just type that. Then go in P3, type town, then employees. Mrs. Lowe, have you typed?
I'm typing.
Okay. NK, I hope you're done, NK.
I am.
So we'll show you how to come up with a drop-down list, which obviously we looked at it some time back on the town, so that we have a drop-down list that we can use instead of typing these towns. So we go to town in C33. We want to create a drop down. I did actually show you a number of ways in which you can create this drop down. Let's just try another method. We'll click on data, click on data. From data, click on data validation. Click data on the tab, then go to data validation. Click the data validation. Change from any value to list, from any value to list. Change to list. Then you go to source, NK, go to source. And pick this list from Lusaka up to Kawe. From Lusaka up to Kawe. From Lusaka up to Kawe, just pick that list. Then you can press OK. Press OK. I guess in the drop down, you'll be able to see the towns. Let's pick Livingstone. So this drop down, maybe we can change, we can put any color just to show that there's a drop down. We can even type there as drop down. Change the font type so that whoever is using this model is able to see that here there is a drop down. We can change the font size to even 9. Mrs. Lowe, is it okay?
It's okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go now to under employees. We want to know the number of employees. So this is where we're going to use the lookup function. You could still use the VLOOKUP, but the lookup has less arguments. So you can choose, but now we're looking at the lookup. So say equals lookup, tab, Control A, press enter. So you have this. So under the lookup value, we'll pick from the drop down, which at least for me, it is C33. Then we'll go to the lookup vector. We'll use the method tool that I showed you so that you have less time for the result vector. You don't even look at it. So you pick this whole range like this. So you have seen, it is actually even showing a preview output, which is 120. If I just picked this column here, without going to the result vector, it will actually assume this is the only column that you want, and it should actually give you the result, and it will show Livingstone. But we want to pick the employee, so we'll go up to there. NK, are we winning?
We're together.
Okay. So then you can press OK. So it shows that Livingstone has 120 employees. So if you go to this drop down, you change to Lusaka, you will find there's 1,000. Why is it not changing? It's supposed to change. Okay. Yeah.
Mine is changing.
Yeah, it's changing. Okay, it's changing. It was just taking time. It's giving me wrong answers. I don't know why it's giving me the 960 down here. Maybe my thing is corrupted. It's not supposed to. It shows Lusaka. What is happening? Is yours working out well? NK.
Mine is also showing the 960, just like yours.
Should I do it?
Yeah, but Kasama is showing a correct figure. I'm not too sure what's happening to Lusaka.
Go to Mansa. Go to Mansa. For me, the numbers are not changing. Let me save this first. Okay. Oh, so if I go to Lusaka, okay. So once you find something like this, it means that if I save, that is when I get it correct. Just check what is happening. But I don't know what is happening in Lusaka. It's not supposed to be like that. So Loisin, if I save, it is taking time to calculate. So then go to the file and check what is there, because I've been using other workbooks. I need to close those workbooks. Just check. I'll need to close one workbook, but let me just go to formulas. It's on manual, so I'll say automatic. It's just my worksheet that, so I'll go to that. was misbehaving. And just zoom. So let me start. I don't know why it was behaving like that. So say lookup for A, result vector, pick Solwezi, lookup vector, pick that. So Solwezi is 750, but it's showing 960. There's a very big problem. So I'll do like this. I'll ask, is this Solwezi equal to the Solwezi I'm seeing in here? True. So why is it behaving like that? Who is getting it correct? When you go to Solwezi, what are you getting?
I was getting 960.
You are getting 960 as well. Kasama 500. Okay, it's okay. We'll find the result. Mongo 960 when it's supposed to be 230. Livingstone 120. It's okay. Lusaka 960. What is happening with this 960 thing? Okay, let's try method 2. There must be something wrong. So say equals lookup, control A, press OK. I'll say lookup value, pick Lusaka there. Lookup vector, we pick the towns. We go to result vector, we pick like this. There's something wrong that is happening with my Excel sheet. So if I pick this, copy, then there's something wrong happening. Are you also getting 960 down there? For Lusaka, what are you getting?
I'm
Okay,
getting 90.
I was getting a mix-up of figures, so I'd also started trying to redo. Yes. There was a mix-up. The only one that was giving me a correct one is Kasama.
Yeah.
Then for Kalomo, it was even showing not applicable.
Okay, Kasama there. For Kalomo, it was showing not applicable.
Yes.
No, we don't have Kalomo. There's no Kalomo. Which one was
What do
showing
you
not
have at the
applicable?
bottom, sir?
Kawe.
Oh, okay. For Kawa, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's
I wasn't
showing
able to see
not
the font.
applicable. What is happening? Strange, very, very strange. Let me pick this first. Let me pick this thing. I feel like my thing is corrupted. And put it on a different thing. I feel like it's corrupted. Lookup, go in. I feel like my worksheets are corrupted. It's not supposed to misbehave in the way it's misbehaving. I'm shocked, actually. It is corrupt. I mean, it's very corrupt. Let me try the VLOOKUP. I see whether it's working. VLOOKUP, Control A. Oh, okay. The secret here with this thing is that they have to be in some order. I've just made a mistake. It's me who has made a mistake. It's supposed to be from the lookup value part. It's supposed to actually go in the ascending order. So let's pick
alphabetically or the values?
Alphabetically. So let me do this. Yeah. How did I even forget? So if we say data from data. So I say from A to under employees, no, towns, A to Z. So just arrange them alphabetically and now check. Check whether it's working now. Just check whether it's working.
Yes, it's working for me.
Is it okay now? Hello?
It's okay for me.
NK?
It's okay for me too.
Victor? So write somewhere to show that the advantage of this function that you have to put them in alphabetical order. That is how you have to arrange your data. But I'll still show you some other ways in which you can look at this. So that's the first method. Let's go to another example in B14. B14, delete what is in B14, delete what is in B14. So the advantage of this, your data can even be misaligned. Like in this case, where you have this part on the right, you have the codes down there, it doesn't matter as long as it is in an alphabetical order. So you go to rate, You say in B14, type equals lookup, Control A, press enter. So the lookup value, we are picking the tax code, which is in the A14. The lookup vector, we are picking because the lookup vector, the first column, it should actually mirror what you have in the lookup value. In the lookup value, we know that is tax code, meaning that the lookup vector, it should actually pick the range, the tax code range. So a range of the tax code. So it picks that. So what is your result vector? If you leave it like that, it will assume that this column, the tax code, that becomes your result vector. So it will show C as an output. But you want to instruct Excel that you want to pick the result vector. In this case, it will be the rates like this. Then you can press OK. So if you change this to D, you have 42%. You change it to E, you have 47%. You change it to F, which is not there. It should give you an, it should actually assume, it will assume that any letter after E, any code after E, it shall remain the 47. You have the 47%, which is basically the tax code for the tax code for is it the tax code E, which gives you 47. So if you go to Z, it will assume, it will pick the last one. So this is the last one for 7. So you have to, if you go back to A, this is what it gives you. You go to C, that is what it gives you. It's a bit limited. It's a limited function, but I do you actually use it. I'll show you how I practically use it at Office for data manipulation purposes. That is another example. Let's go to the other example down here in B27. The equals lookup again. So it doesn't matter how this data is aligned or what, you will still get what you want. So you go to the lookup value, you pick 827. The lookup vector, which should actually mirror the lookup value, which will be B24 to F24, picking the codes, then the result vector, which is B22 to F22. So that is what you pick and you press OK. So you have room for the percentage. This is what you're going to have. So whichever way you arrange it. But let me just give you the practical way in which I use this. You'll find this question, and this is obviously more directed to Mrs. Slower. You find the situation where you have, say, for example, towns. The towns in your BOMA, you have codes per each town or whatever. Then you're actually showing, if you're working in the bank, for example, there are loans per town, per province. So you have the province, and this is what it is. Okay. So just let's delete this on the province, just delete that. Mhm. Okay. So under the province now, we want to pick the province, but we know these towns. We have been given these codes as per province, and see how this data is arranged in K. We are saying that N code from 1 to 199 is Lusaka province. From 200 to 299 is Southern province. 300 to 399 is Northern. 400 to 499 is Western. 500 to 599 is Eastern. And just remove this part. So you have these codes and towns. So this data set, Mrs. Lower, what it doesn't have is the provinces. But you know that each code gives you an idea of which province it is. So this is what you do. You say equals lookup, Control A, press OK. So the lookup value in this case is, so you pick from there, which is M11. The lookup vector, because they are well arranged here, there's no need for you to, so you pick this whole thing, this whole table, like that. Then you lock. I know I haven't taught you on locking, but basically on what we call as locking is just anchoring, putting the dollar signs. There will be a dedicated topic on it. So you just put the dollar signs. With my laptop, I can just press F4 key. For you, if it fails, then press FN F4. So it will lock to put all those dollar signs, 4 dollar signs.
Sorry, sir. Are you able to repeat from lookup vector?
Yes. So lookup vector, pick from here to there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's just showing the range. So if you need, here,
yes.
what it is that if I just had these 100, 200, up 500 and the towns there, and the provinces, should be okay. This component in column P is a bit irrelevant, but just shows you that this is a range. These provinces from 100 to 199. So then you log by pressing F4 key. If it doesn't work, then you press FN F4 key. Done? Have you managed to put the dollar signs, Mrs. Lower?
No, not yet.
You just highlight the whole thing in there. You just highlight it, press F4 key.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, hold the FN key, which is next to control, hold it and press the F4 key. So,
okay. Oh, okay.
Has it worked? There should be 4 dollar signs. NK.
It has worked for me.
Mm-hmm. So press OK. And take it down, double click. NK, have you managed?
Yes, I have.
So this is method 1. If you wanted NK, you can use method 2, like I said, which is VLOOKUP, or not VLOOKUP, sorry, lookup, a bit disturbed. Lookup, Control A. Then you pick the lookup value. On the lookup vector, you pick the first set, you lock it. Result vector, because you want to find the provinces, you pick that, you lock, then you press OK. Any questions? Okay, so that we close. Tomorrow we can meet and look at average if and sum if. Oh, Mrs. Lower, I was just showing the team on using method 2, where I was saying you can say equals lookup, Control A. You pick the lookup value. Then you go to the lookup vector. You pick the first column there. You lock it. You go to tab, result vector, what you want are provinces. You lock it up and press OK. Take it down. Any questions? NK?
No questions from me.
So I'll post the video immediately. Tomorrow we have to meet about the same time. We'll look at the average if and sum if. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.